Conserving water is just as easy as saving energy.
Especially if you have the right technology.
Today on PowerHouse, we'll visit the Kohler Design Center to see how they build water conservation right into their toilets and faucets.
We'll also check out how natural gas generators are changing the way homeowners deal with power outages.
And we'll tour a home that makes as much energy as it uses.
That's next on PowerHouse.
Welcome to Kohler, Wisconsin. That probably sounds familiar to you. They're famous for making products like faucets and shower heads and toilets. Well, today we're here to find out how they're incorporating water-saving technology into products for your home. Meet Ed Del Grand. He's a master plumber and contractor for Kohler. He realizes how important it is to conserve and protect our planet's natural resources. He's going to show you what you can do to save water every day without ever leaving home.
Hello, Megan.
Hi, Ed. Tell us where we are today. This is a pretty cool place.
It sure is. In my opinion, this is the center of the plumbing universe right here. It's the Kohler Design Center, and it has three basic functions. First of all, if you're going to take the factory tour, it starts off right here. Secondly, if you're looking for new Kohler products, chances are you're going to see it here first than any other place in the world. And then finally, speaking of the world, we have designers from all around the world who come upstairs and they design some kitchens and bathrooms that you can tour and get inspired.
Well, it is an inspirational space. It's got
sure
a really good vibe to it. Tell us some of the things that you're doing here at Kohler to implement water conservation.
Well, look right behind me. Over here, we have a nice shower stall set up, and it's digital showering. This is our DTV prompt unit, and you can turn it on. Very easy to press a button. It's not as tough as turning knobs, especially if you get older like myself. And this one will do 3 zones, but the amazing water-saving feature is you can get a model that only uses 1 zone at a time. You can't turn it on to 2 zones. So even though you get all the convenience of a digital shower, it's still going to use the same water as a standard shower system.
Now, is a digital shower something we're going to be seeing more and more of?
Yeah, like I mentioned, as you get older, you want things to be easier, and this is easier than using a smartphone, so just about anyone could use it, and the kids will love it as well, and it can be lowered, so if you have special need people using the shower, this could be in a place that everyone could reach, so you are going to see more digital showering.
Okay. Saving water obviously is good for the environment. How does that apply to the typical homeowner?
Well, if you come with me, I'll show you, because we have some great shower head designs and performance features. So let's go.
Okay. So Ed, most of your options here at Kohler do offer water savings, right?
Yeah, the shower heads, remember, we do have a government standard that says you could use 2.5 gallons per minute. But here at Kohler, you know, we like to go above and beyond. Most of our shower heads are using only 2 gallons of water a minute or less in a lot of cases.
Do you ever get pushback from customers who are concerned that maybe the job won't get done as well using less water?
Well, that's a great question. Let's face it, we all want to save water, but we all want that good, strong shower in the morning. So Kohler says, why can't we have both? So what they do is they engineer a few features in many of their shower heads that I'm going to show you now. The first one that we do is look at these shower heads. See how nice and wide they are? The wider the shower head, the better coverage you get, and you feel like you're getting more water on top of you. It's not like a small little dinky head. These are big, powerful showers. Now we look over here at the nozzles. See these? Just flick it with your thumb or your finger. See it's silicone? If you're running the shower head and you flick it because water deposits are in there, most of the times that's going to clear it out, so it's going to run like a new shower head. It's not going to slow down over time.
This is a really neat feature. Is this also available in your handhelds? Do
Yeah.
they all have the silicone?
A lot of handhelds have these, but we also offer this aquifer filter that goes before the hose on your hand shower, so this water filter will take out a lot of the deposits as well.
Okay.
Now to my favorite, if we step back. This is one of my favorite features. It's air induction technology, and here's a cutaway. It looks a little complicated in there, and engineering-wise, it is, but it really is a simple concept. As the water's flowing through the shower head, it's injected with air, so each drop feels bigger, fatter, and stronger. So that's how, if you combine all these features, we're getting a good, powerful shower and saving water.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about the trends.
Okay.
What do we see in design, and what can we look forward to? What's coming up?
Well, we are in the design center. Follow me. All right, Megan, we're going to give you even more options and more choices. Look at this This is our new Kohler components line, and see the different spouts? You mix and match it with different handles. So you choose which handles go with which spout, and it gives you a good custom look.
And another way to customize, obviously, is finishes. What are the trendy finishes?
Yeah,
right
you
now?
can see there's a lot of finishes here, a lot of different trends. This is the matte black, and it really goes well with trendy bathrooms. And look on top of that, that's the vibrant rose gold.
Rose gold is really popular. You see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to faucets, how do I know which ones are going to save me more water than others?
Okay, there's a program called the EPA WaterSense program, and the government put this whole program together. They actually help you pick out good water-saving fixtures that also perform well.
Now, what if I have faucets at home that I don't really want to switch out?
Yeah, if you have a good Kohler faucet at home, you can take your old aerator off that faucet, bring it down to your local plumbing supply shop that sells Kohler aerators, and match it up and get a new water-saving aerator. It'll fit right on that spout, and now you've turned your present faucet into a water-saving faucet.
Okay, now we've talked about faucets, we've talked about showers.
Toilets. The old toilets waste a lot of water. Follow me, and I'll show you how to upgrade that old water-guzzling toilet. Let me tell you, it's one thing to talk about water conservation, but when you see it right in front of you, how much water these old toilets are wasting, you're going to be shocked.
What is the average usage for toilets?
This toilet right behind you, that's our new Kohler Corbel toilet. It only uses 1.28 gallons per flush, which meets codes in a lot of areas that already changed over. Right now, though, the government mandates 1.6 gallons per flush, but things change all the time, so Kohler's ahead of the game, and we're designing high-efficiency, high-powered toilets right now. Half the country is still flushing with toilets using over 3.5 gallons per flush, or at 3.5 gallons per flush, so we got to get rid of them, and here's why. When I tell you, you're going to flush your toilet, and I'm going to flush this old toilet, and watch what happens. Ready? 3, 2, 1, flush. Now look over here. Your toilet just finished flushing, and it's right about 1.28 gallons per flush. Perfect. I got a fire hydrant here. It's not stopping. I mean, when you see it right in front of you, how much water per flush is being wasted, it really should give a big wake-up call to everyone.
That is an enormous savings. Thank you so much, Ed. This is great information. If you'd like to know more on how you can do your part with water conservation, go to our website at powerhousetv.com. Have you ever lost power at your home? Sometimes major outages can leave homeowners without power for hours or even days. But you don't have to be left in the dark. To learn more, we're back with Ed Delgrand at Kohler. Ed, what is the generator and how does it work?
All right, remember, there are two basic types. There's the portable one, which more people are familiar with, than the standby one, which we have here. The portable generators run on gasoline, so you have to refill them, and they're good for tailgating or camping. But for home backup power, it gets a little tough because you have to run extension cords to the appliance that you want to plug in. So the best choice in my book for a home backup system is right here. This is the standby type, and they run on natural gas or propane, so you don't have to pour gasoline over a hot engine. And as long as you have propane in your tanks and natural gas coming through your lines, you're in business. A generator like this can power a whole house.
And this is becoming more and more popular, right?
Oh, they have to. We live in a plugged-in society now, which means a lot of people have home offices, the internet, of course, everyone needs the internet. And then on a serious note, we have special need family members who may need equipment running. So this is something that every house should consider. You'll get a local dealer in your area. They'll install it with your local inspectors, and then you're in business.
And let me get this straight. So if there's a power outage in my home, it's virtually seamless to maintain power.
Virtually, but not exactly seamless. Remember, there is a safety delay to switch the circuits over from the street to the generator. So you have the event. The automatic transfer switch automatically starts the generator, switches the circuits, and that all takes place under 10 seconds. So it really is
virtually
yes.
seamless.
Yes.
Right. Can you explain to us a ballpark for cost and the investment?
This one, like a whole house style, you could get them in a few different sizes. In this cabinet could be a 14 kW, which is 1,000 watts, so 14,000 watts, or a 20 kW, but we do have smaller ones too. And if you want to start off with a basic type setup, even if it's just for a few circuits, generally you could get it under $10,000.
Okay, and that might be something that people would consider if they did have safety needs or health concerns.
Right.
even a smaller unit?
Sure, and remember too, when you're in that price range, that's not only for the piece of equipment, that's for the whole installation and maybe some landscaping thrown in as well. So it's a lot of bang for the buck.
Good. Thanks, Ed. This is great information. Are you curious? Pete recently caught up with a couple that just purchased a whole house generator to learn more.
Meet Steve and Susie Kennel. They have a solution in case they ever lose power. It's a natural gas generator, and more people are investing in them. Steve and Susie, why did you decide to get a natural gas generator?
Well, about in 2014, we had a storm that took out our electricity and put a little bit of water in our basement. And after it was out for 4 or 5 days, I went to Steve and said that, you know what, we got to do something about this. That I want some peace of mind. We're retired and we want the freedom to go, and we just don't want to be tied down.
Tell us a little bit about this system, Steve.
Yeah, the system is a whole house, so it provides any of the electricity we need for the whole property, and it auto on, auto off, so it senses voltage and frequency, and when either of them starts to go in about 7 to 10 seconds, it just turns it on, and as soon as it senses that the power's back, then it throws it back onto utility power.
Okay.
And we can monitor it all through an app on our phone or a computer. So
we're always interested in safety here on PowerHouse to talk about safety in dealing with the natural gas.
There's a valve out here and there's a valve in the house. Of course, you got to have valves to shut that off if there were a problem, but it's really pretty simple. It's all contained. There's nothing that you have to touch that's either exposed to the gas or electricity. So
can we just take a look inside, Steve? Pretty simple in terms of the setup, right?
It's basically a garden tractor type motor.
And this is a whole house generator,
Correct.
right?
It can power the whole property.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yep, it does like 82 amps worth, and the house tested out at about 68 amps. It runs a little bit louder than maybe an air conditioning unit, but it's not bad. And I like to hear it when it's running, so I know it's doing its thing.
And it was interesting because you said now some of your other friends have know that you've got this natural gas generator as that backup. They've added it as well?
Correct. 4 or 5 neighbors that put them in.
Let's talk about cost. In terms of operating, when it does kick on, what are you looking at? Just an average day cost?
Yeah, I think it's about $25 to $30 a day if you had to run it for the full 24 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, Steve, Susie, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Each week, we like to show you ways you can save energy around your own home. But this week, we're going to show you an entire neighborhood that's being built with energy efficiency in mind. Meet Tim O'Brien. Tim is building a neighborhood with 34 homes that are more than just energy efficient. It's Wisconsin's first net zero community. So Tim, how did you come up with this idea of creating a neighborhood that is basically energy self-sufficient?
Well, we believe that we can make green and energy efficient building a standard. In 2013, we said in 10 years from now, we want to be able to develop the first net zero neighborhood in the state of Wisconsin. 5 years earlier than our initial target, here we are, and we're doing it. And it's been a wonderful, successful program for us, and our customers and the buying public have really embraced it.
Can you explain to us what that term means, net zero energy?
So what we are doing in this community is we are offsetting the electricity. We've driven down the consumption in the home through a combination of products and energy efficient materials to really reduce the amount of consumption that our customers have. And then we've modeled that to be able to demonstrate that we can then take those kilowatt hours on the electrical side and we can design a solar array individually for each home in the community that offsets that consumption. So at the end of the year, if they consume 10,000 kilowatt hours, we're designing a solar array system that offsets that 10,000 kilowatt hours and then a little bit more just to make sure that we're covered.
Now, why did you decide to do an entire neighborhood this way and not just individual homes?
What we found in the past is when we look at it from an individual basis, there's not a great mass scaling of interest. And when we said, if you want to build in this community and build with Tim O'Brien Homes in this New Berlin neighborhood, we are going to make every home a net zero electrical energy consumption neutral. Really, once they move into the house, they start to feel the benefit. Up front, they're thinking about countertops and cabinets. But once they're in the home, they really appreciate the lower utility bills, the greater level of comfort, and the more control that they have over their electrical utility bills. And so we're really trying to find the right combination of systems and designs that can really help people keep that value in place so that we can make it more cash flow positive as they have taken into account their mortgage and the offset that they have from the electrical utility bills. If it makes investment sense and we can demonstrate that, then they're like, I'm all for it.
Right. Can you elaborate on that? Because that was my next question, is cost. You know,
Yes.
does it cost a lot more to have a house like that?
Is there an initial investment? Yes, there is. Just to drive the consumption down, it's about 1%. And then we have about a $20,000 to $24,000 allowance for our solar system, for which the buyer gets a rebate from the state's utility consortium and a federal tax credit. So when you take all of that into consideration, we can demonstrate the offset in that additional mortgage payment by that reduced utility cost really nets it out or creates a savings on a monthly basis.
And over time.
And over time.
Right. Now, do you anticipate that you'll do more neighborhoods like this, or is it too early to tell?
We really believe that we can make this more of a standard. We just got to continue to find the right communities with the right exposures to sunlight and in a buying demographic and a market that really will embrace this.
It's an exciting concept.
It
Good
really
luck
is.
with it.
Thank you.
Energy-saving technology is changing all the time, and more homeowners are seeing the benefits. Meet Craig North. He knows a lot about how to build a home using some of the latest technology in the construction industry. So Craig, we're here in one of these homes in a neighborhood that's basically self-sufficient energy-wise, and it feels and looks like any other home, but it is different. How?
Well, we first focus on energy conservation. We want to build a nice tight envelope with great insulation. Then we add in high efficiency mechanical equipment such as your air conditioner, your furnace, your water heater, and mechanical ventilation. What is different though is we inspect what we expect. So every house goes through rigorous testing and certifications, such as the Indoor Air Plus, WaterSense, Energy Star, and the Department of Energy's Zero Energy Ready Home program.
Wow, so you're very thorough.
Yes, very thorough.
But let's talk first about solar, because that's your source of energy.
We are not storing any electricity in the home. What we do is we produce on the rooftop with our solar arrays, and that generates direct current electricity, which comes into this inverter, and from there it is transferred into alternating current and gets pushed back onto the grid. So we're selling the electricity back to the utility company.
I'd love to see more of the innovations that are included in this house. Can you show me?
I would love to show you. When we talk about conservation of energy in the home, we have to think about air leakage. So what we do is we take spray foam insulation and hit critical areas. Studies show that an average home leaks 35% of their air through the rim joist in the basement and 30% of their air through the lid in the attic.
And what is it that you have covering the walls here in the basement?
This is added rigid foam insulation that's going to slow down energy transfer from cold outside soil to the warm basement.
Okay. So let's talk about the air inside the home, heating and cooling. What's special about that?
In this particular home, we have a dual stage modulating furnace. As we start to construct the homes with higher levels of insulation, the warm air stays in longer and there's less of a need for the equipment to run. So this allows it to run at a lower speed and a lower fan setting, which uses less gas and less electricity versus turning on and shutting off and turning on and shutting off. That's where furnaces lose their efficiency, is when they short cycle.
Do you have any other components that are special in your heating and cooling?
Yes, we have an HRV, which is a heat recovery ventilator. And what the HRV does is it brings in a supply of fresh air into the house and exhausts stale air from the building.
And then how do you manage the heating and cooling all together?
Well, we have a smart thermostat. It will monitor outdoor temperature and humidity, indoor temperature and humidity, and basically tell our ventilation equipment when it can run.
So you have a water heater back here too. Is there anything special about that?
It's an Energy Star water heater, pretty typical in new construction. What is different though is we put a hot water circulation pump in, and it's a smart pump. So it is designed to learn the occupant's habits. So if the occupant showers between 7 and 7:30 every day, it begins to learn that, and it will circulate the hot water in the lines during that time. And as soon as they turn the shower on, it's instantly hot.
Wow, that must equate into savings.
Yes, yeah. In fact, An average household will waste over 10,000 gallons of water annually waiting for hot water at their tap.
Wow, okay, so you got the systems in check. Let's talk about the building itself. How is that unusual?
Well, let me show you.
Okay. This is a great visual, and this is the way you build?
Yeah, this is our standard wall construction. We build 2x4 versus 2x6. More insulation on the outside of the wall is better. Here we have our OSB sheathing, which gives us the structural strength to the wall. We cover that with 1 inch of rigid foam. So this is about 25% of the overall wall insulation. A good analogy I've heard is, in the middle of winter, would you rather wear your parka on the outside of your body, or would you rather eat it? And I think the answer is pretty obvious. To add to that, we always put a house wrap on our homes that really does a great job of shedding water. It can be in a shingle fashion, and we don't have to worry about failures of tape components and things like that.
What have the homeowners' favorite things been in this process so far?
Well, I would love to say that they really enjoy the insulation and mechanical components, but that's not the case. I think when they get the utility bill for the first time, it really affirms their decision to build an energy efficient home. It's also the comforts and health in the home.
Great, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing this information.
Thank you.
If you're thinking of building a new home, contact your local energy company because they may have programs that can help you build in energy efficiency from the start.
It's always great to see how technology is changing how homes use power.
It is, and today we learned how some people are generating as much power as they are using, making them a net zero home.
Plus, some homeowners are taking peace of mind to the next level and installing natural gas generators.
They can power your home in case of power outages.
And it really is a treat to see how Kohler takes water conservation so seriously.
It's amazing to see how different types of toilets use different amounts of water.
Conserving water is just another way you can call your house a powerhouse.